That didn't go so well yesterday.
Did you see him today?
I didn't see it.
I wasn't.
He was okay. He was all right. You know, non-contact.
How was he last night? In the
He was okay. I did jump him a little bit about not, you know, letting passes go in the post, but that was about the only time I felt like he was just too relaxed out there. Just not enough effort. So.
What's your reaction when you hear or read that he wants to be an All-Star this year? Is that news to you?
Well, do you guys go on fantasy things for fantasy basketball?
No Lakers. That's my rule.
Do you see the tier? Do you see the tier of players they have?
Yeah. Drew's like top 5 in centers.
Well, he said he's trying to get 20 and 10.
21.
20 and 10 was his goal this year.
Well, I guess it's good to have goals.
Do you play fantasy?
No, but you know, I found out through other means, you know, what the fantasy was.
His fantasy?
No, but Drew's in the 4th tier, the group that I went on.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. I thought he was a little
He was
higher.
down with Jamal,
Magliore.
O'Neal, Magliore. I was surprised too that he wasn't in the second group. He was in the first two.
Maybe like the Lakers, fantasy owners want to see him play a few games first.
Well, you know, we first of all have to see how he fits in with the group that played really well last year, and then we go from there.
With all the scoring on this team at 20 points a game, is that doable for him?
Not possible. It's not possible. There's just not enough offense for everybody to do that kind of stuff. You know, Powell's going to do what he's done in the past. You know, Lamar's obviously going to play a role that's an accommodating role. And, you know, Lamar's guy that can fit in and do a variety of things and doesn't feel like he has to score. You know, doesn't feel the need that he has to do that. But Kobe's going to be a scorer. He's going to shoot the basketball, and Fish has to have shots to be effective. So, yeah.
You could do the Phoenix thing, where you score like 140 a game.
I don't think so.
Is the 10 rebounds more?
That's realistic. 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, some change shots, shots that are adjusted because of his size. Maybe a charge a game or something like that. Those are things, that we want to see happen with the defense, and that's going to make us a good team.
Right now, how realistic is it that we see Lamar at the point, Kobe can three, that we see that lineup a lot? Just something you want to spring down there.
We'll see how that works out. Usually I fiddle around with things in exhibition season. I don't know if you guys remember last year's exhibition season.
A lot of turnovers.
It was memorable.
I don't remember it. Thanks for reminding me.
Who's going to provide that energy, like that Curry provided?
Trevor's a guy that can do that. He's this kind of a silent player, though. He's a stealth artist out there, more than a guy that does all that, celebrating that Ronnie did. Sasha likes to celebrate, but usually just for himself. And Ronnie was for everybody,
How would you evaluate the first 3 days of the experimenting and tinkering with Lamar at 20?
It's okay. I mean, he's not in shape. Lamar's not ready to play, and so that's a conditioning thing that still has to be found. But they're starting to find their conditioning little by little.
Lamar said he wanted to rest his knees and have the tendonitis calm down. Is that okay for him to come into camp and still be, not really?
Well, he has to find that out for himself. I mean, that's something to experiment with. But in our exit meetings with Lamar, we talked about the fact that he hasn't had an opportunity to work on his body in the off season for the last 3 or 4 years, actually.
Yeah.
And so this was an opportunity for him to strengthen his shoulder and do some things that were going to help him in this pivotal year for him, not only for him but for us.
Vladdy said he spent a lot of his offseason working on his defense. Is that a noticeable change at this point?
One of the things we like about Vladdy is his quickness and his speed. Defensively, there's a lot of positive things he can do, and we always liked that about his game, is that he's got ability to anticipate, steal. He's got quickness to double team and trap, and those kind of things. Individual defense, everybody's going to have a problem. In his situation, it was one of those things where there's there were just automatic calls against him as soon as Pierce put the ball on the floor in the Boston series. So those are the things that if he can can get himself out of foul trouble, we can provide help for him. And we do the necessary adjustments to help him out. And what we don't need is for guys to have simple fouls or cheap fouls that put teams in penalty.
Thanks, Phil.